Hello and welcome back. We're going to continue our work in Unit 4, our Paint 1-Point Perspective Room project. And today we're going to work on Lesson 4.10, which is all about creating a flat screen TV in our 1-Point Perspective Room. So let's go ahead and jump into this. So I'm going to get out to my desktop here, and I'm going to go into my folder. We're going to go here to Documents, find that digital art folder. From there, we're going to find our 1-Point Perspective Room folder. And in here, we are looking for, if I hover over it, we're looking for that BMP file. That should be it right here. So I'm going to right click on this, open with, and tell it to open in Paint. Okay, we'll give it a second to open. Fabulous. All right, so we're going to do, first, we're going to create a flat screen TV. I think I'm going to put one over here on top of or above this dresser. The first steps to drawing a flat screen TV is this exact same as drawing a window. So you can go back and watch that video, but I'm going to do that here quickly. I'll fast forward through this part. Okay, so there we go. I have our window drawn essentially on that wall. And so really the only thing we need to do to turn this into a flat screen TV is it needs a side. So I'm going to zoom back in. And we're going to come over here to the left side of it because I'm drawing on the left wall. I'm going to grab my rectangle tool. I'm going to again make sure it's 1 pixel wide. I'm going to start in one of the corners here and I'm going to draw down. Now you can decide if you want a really thick TV or a thinner TV. I'm going to go with that thinner option. The other thing that I've seen people do with these are, make it really wide and then they put, let me just do this real quick. Now I know it's in front of my doorway there, but they put another line like this, and now that's like a fish tank, okay? And you can draw fish and all kinds of fun things inside there. But we're going to go ahead and just draw the side of this TV kind of thin, okay? Just like that. I'll release that mouse. So now I have a flat screen TV. Some details that I can go ahead and put into this is maybe I want to draw an outlet down here on the wall, and maybe I'll draw a cord to that outlet. So let me zoom out a second. And I am going to be drawing through my dresser, which is a little bit cumbersome. So I'm going to use the layers in this instance. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to add a layer. And I'm going to start it with blue. I'm going to start at my vanishing point and I'm just going to draw the top and the bottom in blue. Now again, those are just guidelines. I drew those on my new layer. I'm going to jump back to my drawing. I'm going to zoom in at this point to where this outlet would be. And I'm going to grab my line tool and I'll go back to black. So the first thing I'm going to do to put the outlet in is draw the left side of the outlet perfectly straight, the right side of the outlet perfectly straight, and then the top of that outlet needs to follow the rules of perspective. So I'm going to click off that line and I'm going to click at the top and follow that diagonal line that I had in blue, that guideline that was there. Now the blue line is sitting in the layer in top. So because the blue line is on top, I don't see much of that black, which means it's lined up pretty perfect. I'm going to do the same thing on the bottom section, line that one up. Awesome. So there I have the outlet, and I'm going to come back over here to the layers now, and I'm going to click on this layer, and I'm going to right click and delete that layer. So now instead of having to go back through and erase all of those lines, I just use that layer kind of to cheat a little bit and get those lines where I needed to be and trace those lines. So I'm going to grab the brush tool to finish this out, and I'm going to make a circle. We'll put one circle here, kind of it'll be a little bigger than that. Circle here at the top of my outlet, and maybe one here at the bottom of my outlet, like that. And then at this point, again, to dress up my project, I've got the pencil tool. Like I had a cord hanging out behind the back of the TV, I'll just draw that cord down to my outlet. So let me zoom back out to 100% so we can see our end results. But that just adds a little bit of interest and detail and realism to our TV. The only other thing that we could do here for our TV is we could put in some buttons on the side. So I could use a rectangle tool and put in a couple of buttons here, something like that. And then again, zoom back out to 100% so we can see what we did. There we go. So just some little details that kind of make it fun for the project. If you have any questions or concerns about the TV, please reach out and let me know. After you have your TV and elements drawn, you do want to make sure that you save your document. So File, Save, and then we're going to take a screenshot of our progress. Here we go. Again, I use that Windows Shift S keyboard shortcut for that. And here it is. So I'm going to hit the Save button on my screenshot. I'll go back into my screenshots for digital art folder there, and we can see that this would be our 410 TV. And I'm going to hit save. At that point, you can take that screenshot and submit that into your progress sketchbook so I can review it. Again, if you have any questions about this step of the project or any other step, please reach out and let me know. Until then, enjoy the process.